Here's the Midnight Raven on today's episode 12 of the It's Not All Doom podcast. I welcome you to another self-discovery and self-exploration podcast. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I am the Midnight Raven. I am currently sitting on my living room floor, possibly burning up from the inside out. It is screechingly hot outside, possibly inhumane. It's about 30 degrees outside in the UK currently. It is hot. So I am sitting on my floor and we are going to get back into our self-discovery, our self-improvement, and we are going to go through some more of our journal prompts. So we are using this journal prompt guide to go through, suggested by my counsellor. So this is self-discovery journal prompts. There are 365 of these. So far we have done 10 and we are going to go through the whole book eventually, and each time we'll learn stuff about ourselves. We'll look to the past, the present, and possibly the future in each of the questions. So we usually look at 5 in each podcast. Each podcast is around 20 to 25 minutes. So get yourself a drink, get yourself comfortable, maybe not on the floor like me because it's a little bit uncomfortable. And let's get into the podcast for episode 12. So today, question number 1 we are looking at is, what do you do for fun currently? So with having poor mental health or deteriorating mental health or just not feeling quite right, sometimes it's good to do something fun. Now, looking at stuff that brings you joy, brings you happiness, maybe brings you a bit of quiet in this very hectic, fast-paced world at the minute. Sometimes it's good just to take that little bit of time for yourself to do something for yourself, whether it's going for a quiet walk, running yourself that nice warm bubble bath, having that glass of wine when you come home from work, or doing things a bit more out there. Maybe booking a spontaneous weekend away. Maybe finally messaging that crush that you had on somebody and seeing if you click. You know, doing stuff fun doesn't necessarily have to entail money. There is lots of things you can do for fun that costs nothing, and in this day and age, that is a hard thing to find. But it is possible to have fun for no expense. If you look hard enough, you will find walks that you can go on, you will find museums that you can visit. There is a lot going on during the summer period where there's like events that you can go to which cost, a little bit, but you don't have to spend a huge amount. You can take your own picnic with you to some of the events. Quite a lot of the events during summer, the fun can be outdoors, which is always great. Get your vitamin D, get your fresh air, get out there and meet people. Obviously, with the colder seasons, you do tend to spend a lot more time indoors. With the summer, you can get out there and have a bit more fun, or you can just do what makes you happy. And the fun could be just sitting in your back garden, just reading a book. It could just, like I said, just going for a stroll down to your local coffee shop and just getting a coffee. It can be as simple or as adventurous as you like, but do something this summer that's fun. Get out there, enjoy the sun. Okay, next question. What have you been grateful for lately? So this can be different for everybody, and this will depend on your circumstances. What have you been grateful for lately? For me, I think I've been grateful for the understanding from people. So, mental health is different for everybody. Mental health can be different each day. One day you're fine, the next day you're not. One day you could struggle to get out of bed. The next day you might just float around and not really have a purpose. Then you might be angry at people, you might be confused. You can go through a lot of emotions in a very short space of time with your mental health. And what I've been grateful for is the understanding from people, whether it's the understanding from my children, the understanding from my sisters, the understanding from my friends, the understanding from my counselor and my doctor. The fact that somebody outside of me can understand to a point of how I feel or to a point of how I am. They can't obviously be me and they can't understand fully how I feel because no one can. Feelings, thoughts, emotions are personal to yourself, and so are the trials and tribulations you are going through. Um, but I am grateful for the fact that the people around me try and understand. They may not fully understand and they may not fully be able to comprehend the reasons behind how I feel, but they can at least try to understand, maybe sympathize slightly. It is hard to sometimes show that you're grateful to people because you personally have to understand what you're going through first before you can be thankful to others who understand, because without your own understanding of the situation, it's hard for you then to relay the gratefulness you feel that other people see and understand what you're going through if you don't understand and see what you're going through first. It's a very complicated thing that you have to come to an understanding of what you're going through, and then other people will then see and get it basically. But yeah, I'm grateful for the time that people have put into me, my counselor especially, my doctor. I've had numerous appointments recently for blood tests and counseling. I also have a health check coming up in a week's time where I get a full body MOT. That's always fun. Um, but I am grateful. Um, I'm also grateful to myself. I think I have come on leaps and bounds. I don't think I fully appreciate how far I've come. There is still a road to go down. Not gonna lie, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Um, but each day is a stepping stone. Each thing that I achieve is a momentous occasion. But like I've always said before, one step forward, two steps back has always been the way for me. But I am grateful for everyone around me. I'm grateful to myself, and hopefully we can continue to be grateful as we go down this journey. Um, and then there'll come a day when things will just level out, and that day can't come too soon. But yeah, what else is there to be grateful for? I mean, you could look at exterior factors of being grateful, like I'm grateful for like I said, the understanding. You could be grateful that the sun comes up every morning, grateful that you're here on this planet. You could be grateful, you know, for a lot of things. And gratefulness is something that people do need to learn, because this life is short. Um, and being grateful for stuff is a way of also showing other people that you appreciate them and that you're thankful for them. And, sometimes just that little bit of a gratefulness goes a long way to people. Okay, the next question. What areas of your life would you want to improve? Wow. That's a. Oof. Okay. Now this is a question and a half. So, what areas of your life you want to improve? Well, the obvious one is to improve my mental health. That goes without saying. Um, Mental health will take time. But outside of the mental health, because we delve into the mental health quite a lot on my channel, and the areas of my life that I want to improve is obviously my mental health. I don't like not wanting to get out of bed every morning. I don't like having mood swings. I don't like feeling low. But the areas of my life I would love to improve, I think, would be being more outgoing. Improving my social circle would be something. I would love to have more friends. I would love to do more things out of my flat. I get very closed off, very, you know, fixated in being around my own company. I'm a very isolative person. Um, but apparently I have a very welcoming, appreciative, approachable personality that doesn't seem to resonate with myself, because I don't really go out there and try and associate with people or try and get a bigger circle of friends or try and put myself out there. And I think that would be an area to improve, would be my social circle. Maybe getting out there and doing more stuff, trying more stuff, just putting myself out there a bit more. Learning more about myself, my likes, my dislikes. Maybe finding a significant other would also be great. And then maybe sharing more experiences with them would bring me out of my shell a bit more. I have been a quite closed off person for most of my life, and it does take a while for someone to break down that exterior wall to get to me, which has always been a struggle in my life. But that would be one of the areas I think that I would to love to entertain more. Getting out of the flat more, getting to see people more, socializing more, and just having, I guess, more of an outward personality, because people say that I am bubbly and happy and great to be around. Maybe I just need to show more people that. And not be afraid to show who I am, because sometimes I do feel that I have very different or alternative hobbies, activities, and things I enjoy. And I always feel a little bit guarded on telling people. Like, I have a fascination for serial killers. I love sitting in a cemetery and contemplating the universe. Um, I love watching World War II documentaries. Um, stuff like that isn't to everyone's tea. I get that. But that's me. And if I can find people that are similar, I'm a goth. I like certain taste in music. I like certain things like horror films. The slashier and gorier the better. All of the weirder the better. And not everything I'm interested in would interest other people. I actually read stuff about cults, torture, medieval torture especially, and stuff like that. Would that interest people? Probably not. They're more into like cat videos and TikTok nowadays. But yeah, improving my social circle, getting out there a bit more, socializing would be the way forward for me personally. So that is another thing. Okay, 2 to go in this video. I hope you're enjoying this video. Let me know down below. Share your comments, your thoughts, opinions, and your own experiences. Okay, number 14. How are your relationships right now? So this could be any type of relationship. This could be a relationship with your significant other. As you well know, I am single. Don't have a significant other. Have currently been single for about 4 years. So the relationships that I currently have, I am single. The relationships with my children are brilliant. I must admit, my children have turned in and blossomed into these very kind, caring young boys. The relationships I have outside of my children would be my sisters and my family. Although my relationships with my mum and dad have always been a bit strained, The relationships with my sisters I have always tried to keep. We are very different. Must admit that me and my two younger sisters have had a tumultuous relationship. I am significantly different from them. They do believe and have told me numerous times that they think I am weird and strange. And I take that as a compliment because thanks for recognizing that. I do have, like I said, weird hobbies, strange hobbies, peculiar interests. And you know what? I'm quite happy with that. It makes me. I'd hate to be like normal. So the relationships with my sisters are quite good. We recently went away for my 40th birthday weekend and had a fabulous time getting drunk and playing some games and just spending some quality time with them. Because I don't have that like sisterly bond where we like text every day and call every day and spend every weekend together. Um, I would love if we had that kind of bond a bit more. But I am, like I said, a bit different, a little bit quirky, a little bit weird, and I don't always want to do the stuff they do. It can be just not to my liking. Relationships I have outside of my family would be my friends. Now, I only have a very small circle of friends, which I think can be good. I would love a bigger circle of friends. Like I said in the previous question, I would love to branch out and meet more people similar to me, but that is a very small niche. Um, Especially where I live, I think I would struggle to find people along the same wavelength as me. Um, but there's no harm in trying. Relationships outside of my friends would have been my work colleagues. I currently don't work, so I don't have relationships when it comes to work. Relationships with YouTube, I do have YouTube friends that I talk to behind the scenes. Um, and the relationship I have currently with myself is a good one. Um, Relationships come and go. And over the years, I have had many friends. I've had a bigger circle of friends, and I actually found it a struggle to have like a massive circle of friends. I think sometimes less is more. I think having a selective amount of relationships in your life can give you a more fulfilling life. When you have too big a circle of friends, you're trying to cut yourself into three ways and please everybody, and then you forget yourself in all of that, which can also be a really bad thing. Um, Relationships are good, and relationships can also be tiresome, they can be bad, they can take a lot out of you. Some relationships are not worth it, some relationships are worth working for. You will discover relationships that you are happy with and not happy with. And if you're not happy with the relationship, there is no harm in cutting ties or slowing down that relationship or hanging out with that person less. Um, Relationships are good to have, but they do take a lot of time. They can take a lot of effort. So my relationship circles are quite small. I don't have the patience or the time or just the will to have such a big circle of friends that it's all, you know, just too much for me. I just don't have it in me to have that kind of lifestyle with that kind of friends and circles and just too much drama for my liking. Okay, so the last question today. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done? Spontaneous. Most spontaneous thing I've ever done, I think, was when I just booked a trip one morning and left. I don't think you can get more spontaneous than that. I woke up one morning, I said, I'm going on holiday. I sat down at my laptop, I booked a holiday, and by 1 p.m. I'd left. And I was gone for 5 days. I had a mental health dip, I would say. I didn't feel good where I was. I woke up, I felt really bad. I can't remember why. I just didn't feel right. I just was like, I need to get out of here. I checked my bank account. It was good. I checked booking.com and I left. Within 3 hours, I had packed, booked a holiday, and gone. And those 5 days away were just what I needed. When I came back, I felt rejuvenated. I felt more positive. I felt more happy. For whatever reason, I needed just to be alone with my thoughts and everything. I needed the sea air, the sea breeze. I just needed time, and it felt right. It felt good. And those 5 days were probably the best days I've had in a long time. And it was only 5 days. It was only to Great Yarmouth. You will have seen some videos from when I was away. This was a couple of months ago. I just all of a sudden needed to just get out of my flat, get out of Swaffham where I live. I needed to get out of here. Just go. And I took 5 days to myself. Obviously, I made sure my son was all right before I left. He is 16, so quite happy to be on his own, although he's at his girlfriend's mostly anyway. And I just got sorted and just left. And those 5 days were exactly what I needed. When I came back, I felt so much better. I felt happier. I felt more just relaxed. I can't tell you why. I don't understand myself what made me want to just get up and leave, but I just felt that way, and I felt so much better when I came back. And I would employ other people to do things spontaneously, whether it's spontaneously going to a movie that night, spontaneously going away, maybe texting that person that you haven't hung out with for a bit and want to hang out with them, making that phone call to that person that you've been wanting to phone for a while and you haven't, spontaneously getting engaged. I don't know, do something spontaneous. Get out there, do things more on a whim, because I tell you that holiday was perfect. It was 5 days of just me, myself, and my thoughts, and I felt so much better. So much better. I can't tell you how, in that short, tiny window, my mental health dropped and then came back. And it was just, can't explain. Can't explain it. It just happened. And sometimes the best things happen on a whim or happen last minute. And I would employ other people to do things spontaneously. Life is too short to have everything scheduled. If you have a free weekend and you're sitting there and you're wondering what to do something. Do anything. Get out there. And that is the 5 questions for today. So I hope you enjoyed this. This was a more relaxing one, not so deep and dark or, doom and gloom this time. But this is episode 12 of the It's Not All Doom and Gloom podcast. I hope you enjoyed this. My name is the Midnight Raven. If you want to share your stories down for each of the questions, we will just run through what they were today. So the first question was, what do you currently do for fun? Question 2 was, what have you been grateful for lately? Question 3 was, what areas of your life would you like to improve on or in? Question 4 was, how are your relationships right now? That could be with friends, family, work colleagues. And question 5 was, what was the most spontaneous thing you've ever done? Now, this is episode 12. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would be amazing. If you'd like to help fund the podcast, a PayPal, Super Chat, or Super Thanks, or becoming a member, all the money goes back into my channel. This is episode 12 of the It's Not All Doom podcast, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you all. Bye.